The desert sun beat down relentlessly on the vast, rugged landscape. Dust swirled in the air as cameras and crew members buzzed with nervous energy. It was the set of Mission Impossible 8, a film already being hailed as the most ambitious project of the franchise. For Tom Cruise, it was just another day of pushing the limits of human endurance. The scene they were about to shoot was unlike anything ever attempted before. A real airplane, mid-flight and crews hanging off its wing, thousands of feet above the ground. It was the kind of stunt that only Tom Cruise would even think about performing himself. All right, everyone, places. Cameras rolling in 3, 2, 1, action. The plane roared down the runway, accelerating at an insane speed. Tom, dressed in full tactical gear, sprinted toward it, preparing to grab onto a secured metal bar attached to the wing. Everything had been meticulously planned. It whops as Tom lunged forward. A strong crosswind hit the plane. The force threw off his timing by a fraction of a second. In stunts like these, a fraction of a second is the difference between life and death. Gasps erupted from the crew on the ground. The safety cable attached to his harness snapped under the unexpected force. For the first time in his career, Tom Cruise was in real danger. The plane was already airborne. Tom's grip was slipping, his feet desperately searching for something, anything to hold onto. Below him, nothing but a 2,000-foot drop. The world seemed to slow down. The cameras were still rolling, capturing every second of this real-life nightmare. Then, something incredible happened. One of the stunt coordinators, a veteran pilot named Jack, had been monitoring the flight sequence from a secondary aircraft. Seeing the catastrophe unfold in real time, he made a split-second decision that defied every safety protocol. "I'm going in," Jack radioed to the tower. "I can intercept." His plane accelerated, matching the speed of the other aircraft. The margin for error was razor-thin. One wrong move and he'd collide with the film's production plane, creating an even bigger disaster. But Jack wasn't thinking about the risks. He was thinking about saving Tom Cruise. The ground crew watched in stunned silence as Jack positioned his plane just below the film's aircraft, giving Tom something solid to land if he could time the jump perfectly. Tom, still hanging on, with just one hand, saw his only chance. With a deep breath, he let go. For a few agonizing seconds, he was free falling. Then impact. Tom landed hard on the roof of Jack's plane. His body rolled dangerously close to the edge, but he managed to grab hold of a safety latch. Then the impossible had just happened. The cameras caught every second. This wasn't part of the script, this was reality. The moment Tom was safely inside, the cockpit cheers erupted across the production team. They had just witnessed something that would go down in Hollywood history. But as Tom pulled off his helmet, catching his breath, he looked at Jack with a grin and said, "All right, let's do another take." A stunt that became Legend's production team was still in shock. The radio was flooded with voices, some panicked, some in disbelief. Did that really just happen? Tom Cruise sat in the cockpit of Jack's plane, catching his breath. His pulse was racing, but his face carried a signature grin, the same fearless expression that made him a Hollywood legend. Jack, still gripping the controls, turned to Tom. "You're insane." Tom let out a breathless chuckle. Takes one to know one. On the ground, the director and stunt coordinators were still scrambling to process what had just happened. The cameras had captured everything: the fall, the near miss, the miracle, save. And now an even bigger question loomed. Would they use the footage? Back on the ground, as soon as Tom's feet touched solid ground, he was swarmed by the crew. Some were in tears, some were furious. "Tom, what the hell was that? You could have..." Didn't. He had survived. Jack was greeted like a hero. The man who had just pulled off an impossible aerial maneuver was met with a mix of stunned applause and emotional embraces. "Jack, I owe you my life," Tom finally said, gripping his hand firmly. Jack shook his head. You're Tom Cruise. I knew you'd make the jump. Laughter rippled through the group, breaking the tension. But deep down, they all knew the truth. This wasn't just a stunt anymore. This was a real-life miracle. Hollywood in shock within hours, rumors began to swirl in the entertainment world. Something had happened on the set of Mission Impossible 8. Leaked headlines surfaced online. Tom Cruise's most dangerous stunt almost ends in disaster. Hero pilot saves Tom Cruise's life in mid-air incident. Did Mission Impossible 8 just capture the craziest real stunt ever? Social media exploded. Fans were obsessed with knowing the truth. Would they actually put this in the movie? One thing was certain, Hollywood had never seen anything like this before. Tom makes his decision late that night. Tom sat in the editing room with the director. The footage was playing on the screen. Every single detail the moment his grip slipped. The way his body dangled, the seconds of free fall before he miraculously landed, it was all there. We could cut it. We don't need to use this. Why would we cut the most real moment in the entire movie? Silence. The decision was made. This wasn't just a stunt anymore. It was history. The final cut when Mission Impossible 8 finally hit theaters. The scene became the most talked about moment in modern cinema. Fans gasped. Critics were speechless. Theaters erupted into cheers. Wait, that wasn't CGI. Are you telling me that actually happened? Tom Cruise is literally indestructible. The film broke records. It became the highest-grossing Mission Impossible movie of all time. And Jack, the world finally knew his name. The pilot who saved Hollywood's most fearless man, legendary status, achieved manslaughter. Tom sat across from a late-night show host. So Tom, is it true? Did you really almost fall to your death? Tom laughing. Almost. The audience erupted into applause. And just like that, another impossible mission was complete. The end. What just happened? This wasn't just another action sequence. It was a real-life thriller caught on camera. Would you have the courage to do what Tom Cruise did? Like, share, and subscribe for more unbelievable stories.